Well, good morning. I believe this is the Mississippi Welcome Center. This is as far as we made it last night. I think we've had about an hour and a half left on our clock. Honestly, I was just tired, man. I'm not used to driving anymore. I think we have 3 hours left to pick up the next truck. And then today's Saturday, so it's not really a time rush. We were unable to find another load yesterday. Flip this thing around. So I'm not in like a crazy big hurry to finish the load out, basically. If I'd have found a load to pick up on Monday, we actually did find, so we were looking at two different loads. One was going to Ohio, but it turned out to be a crane load, pick up and drop off. Not crazy about it. You guys know me and cranes. They weren't really willing to come up on price for the whole, to deal with the crane. So I'm not willing to, no, get away from that. Hey, I'm not willing to do a crane load unless they'll pay extra for a crane load. You know, you're not gonna stick a crane load on me at the same price I'd take a forklift load. It's just not gonna happen. Anyways, then Mason was talking to a guy, I think it was going to Memphis, Tennessee. It was gonna be a load of steel, loaded to capacity. Guy was paying really good for it. Then Mason did a credit check on him and he failed. Meaning my factoring company wouldn't factor him. And this is always their, you know, this is what they always say, you know. Why are you throwing your money away factoring your loads? They always say this. Why are you throwing your money away when you're factoring your loads? I factor my loads because for 2%, it's worth it to me to have access to lawyers if you don't pay me. It's also worth it to me for 2% for somebody to do all the paperwork that's required in order to get paid for a job. It's worth it to me for the 2% for somebody to keep up with all the paperwork and make sure I'm gonna get paid. To me, it's worth it, 2% for factoring, to not have to deal with any of that stuff. The real question is, if you're such a good broker, why doesn't your credit pass? Why are you reflecting on somebody deciding to factor your loads that you're posting on a load board rather than focusing on fixing whatever you messed up for a factoring company not to want to touch you? That's the real question. So Mason looked him up. He's been in business since, I think he said 1999. He looked up his MC number. I mean, how long does it take? How long does it take to fix something like that? I don't know. Also, if you've been in business since 1999, well, it's not even that. Not even that. Right now, this industry, there's a lot of people. Hold on, babies. There's a lot of people going out of business right now, and they're basically taking advantage of anybody that they can on their way out. Meaning, if they're gonna go out of business, then their last chunk of loads, they may not pay you for. You may never see that money. And if my factoring company isn't willing to factor you, then that means I won't have access to their lawyers. I won't have access to the people that would know what to do when it came time to hunting you down and getting my money. So we lost out on that load. He was like, oh, I can do quick pay. I'm like, okay, what are we talking? We talking Venmo? We talking PayPal? He comes back and he's like, well, no, I could pay you with a check in about 2 weeks. It's like, bro, we are not willing to wait 2 weeks for a quick pay from somebody who credit isn't worth it, you know? So anyways, so basically that's what happened with those 2 loads. Let me hit this button, make sure it's looking at me still. A lot of you guys know I lost my Facebook for about 3 years. Facebook banned me. Never told me why, but they banned me for 3 years, and I couldn't get my Facebook back. So it's probably over some political stuff, I might have said. I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't even remember what happened. I have no idea. Anyways, 3 years, my Facebook's gone. I recently got it back, and my best friend growing up, when I lived in Florida, when I moved away, it seems like all my friends down in Florida, man, they got into drugs pretty bad. I don't think it was because I left. It's not like they were like, oh, we're having Robert withdrawals, let's shoot some heroin. I think it was just kind of like that point in the world where drugs were just running rampant. So I pretty much stopped reaching out to my buddy because I knew he was hanging out with a rough crowd. I knew he was doing, you know, some pretty hard drugs. I mean, smoking pot or whatever, you know, I don't consider that a drug. That should be legalized. Anyways, you know, it'd been a while since I talked to him, and I'm usually the friend that reaches out to you. And you know what? I'm tired of being the friend that has to reach out and keep in touch with everybody. And I kind of got pissed off because me and my friend Tim, man, we were inseparable. Like, you couldn't separate us back then. Like, we were always together, you know? So I got pissed off. I got on Facebook. I'm like, I can't believe this dude hasn't gotten contact with me, trying to figure out what's going on. And what I was thinking, you know, I was like, you know what? He's probably locked up. So I get on his Facebook, and I'm like scrolling through. I'm like, damn, this dude ain't posted in forever. Which, I don't know. A lot of people really ain't, you know, into Facebook. I understand. I'm not. Honestly, I wanted it back to have access to my friends, and I wanted it back for Facebook Marketplace. Everybody on Facebook Marketplace has lost their freaking mind. They ask for way too much. And then when you find a deal, like, I looked for a couple of those little gravity things where you like lay on that bed and then like it tilts it back and like stretches your back out. Ooh, I have to tell you a story about that too. About going to a doctor's while we were home. Anyways, you know, I found a couple of those, and you would message them and you'd be like, hey man, is this still available? And they'd be like, yeah. I'm like, all right, cool, I'll come get it. And then they just stop messaging you. It's like, hello. And then I got in contact with him again. He's like, oh, sorry, Facebook Messenger didn't notify me. It's like, hey man, that's cool, I understand it. That happens to me all the time. You guys message me on Facebook, or you guys message me on Instagram, and a lot of times I don't get the notification. I was like, yeah man, cool. He's like, oh, when can you pick it up? I'm like, bro, I can come pick it up today. Crickets again. Never heard from him again. It's like, I guess you don't want to sell it. And, I mean, they're not that expensive, but it was like pretty much where I live, I couldn't find one in stock anywhere. I would have to order one, and I like that instant gratification of having something I want right then, you know? So anyways, nothing ever happened to that. Anyways, God, I get sidetracked. Anyways, I'm on his Facebook and I'm scrolling through his feed, and you know, there's somebody on there that's tagging somebody that's not showing up, some John guy or whatever, and tag John and then tag my buddy and then tag somebody else, and they're like, we miss you so much, we can't believe you're gone. And I'm trying to click on this John dude, and it's not letting me because I guess he doesn't have a Facebook, because it's not giving you like the hyperlink. So I scroll down a little bit more, and the same person tagged something else and was like, you know, I can't believe you're gone, blah blah blah. Like, man, this is who is this John guy? I don't understand. And I keep scrolling down, and I start seeing like posts from 2 or 3 years ago that my buddy overdosed. So I've been messaging all of his family and friends, trying to figure out, you know, what happened. And from what I could tell from like his sister's profile and stuff, it was probably fentanyl. Now, was he doing fentanyl, or was there fentanyl in something that he was taking? I mean, that's what you got to watch right now. Like, they're putting fentanyl in everything. Like, you can't go to Dairy Queen and get a blizzard without worrying about fentanyl. I mean, they're just dumping fentanyl in everything like asbestos, you know? So I don't know. I guess what I'm getting to is I didn't sleep very good last night. So I kind of stayed up looking through Facebook a little too late. So I think it's 8 o'clock right now. Should have been up earlier, but it is what it is. Anyways, back to the back thing, the doctor thing. I guess Lita's not going to come for a walk. I kept seeing these ads on my Instagram and on Facebook of this doctor with this special machine in Valdosta that's supposed to like stretch out your back. It didn't give any information. It was just like, oh, you don't need surgery, blah, blah, blah. Come see this doctor. He's got this amazing machine. I was like, oh, that's going to be amazing. So me and Lita make an appointment. I go to the doctor. Takes me in the office. No, there's water that way. Takes me in the office. And then I get to talking to him, and I'm like agreeing with everything he says. And you know, I told him, I'm like, look, I don't believe in those wacky chiropractors. Turns out I think he's actually a chiropractor. And he's like, oh yeah, why is that? I was like, man, I went to a chiropractor, and the dude, you know, I went in there with extreme back and neck pain. My first session was supposed to pay for x-rays and my first crack or whatever. And I'm like, and this dude cracked my back and cracked my neck without even looking at it at an x-ray first. I'm like, he cracked my back and he cracked my neck, and then we x-rayed. And I'm like, to me, that seems reckless and is super dangerous, right? And he's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that, you know? So we're basically on the same page. And then he gets to talking to me about this amazing machine that he has. Supposedly he has 3 or 4 of them. And he's like, I'm gonna take you in this other room. Oh, so he x-rayed me, and we went over the x-rays. Lita took pictures of the x-rays. Honestly, he was pointing to stuff, and I'm like, okay, I guess. I'll put the x-rays up. I'll have Lita include the pictures of the x-rays. He just had her take a picture of the screen. He thinks my neck is because of my back. I think he's wrong. I don't know what's wrong with my neck either. I need to get an MRI on my neck. So he takes us in his special room. He's like, I'm gonna have you guys watch this video, and then I'm gonna come back and we'll discuss our options. And while we're in this room, you know, we're reading up on some stuff before the video starts. And they're like, oh, this amazing machine. If you get chosen, it's gonna change your life, blah, blah, blah. And we watch what seems like one of the worst infomercials a doctor could ever have in his office. Like, have you ever seen those infomercials late at night where it's like they try to solve a problem that's not a problem? They're like, oh, are you tired of your mop catching on fire every time you mop your kitchen? And they got people in the crowd, and they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And you're sitting there like, whose mop is catching on fire when they're mopping the kitchen, you know? It was like a super old infomercial with people that are like terrible actors. Hold on, Mackies. Oh, you got you a stick. Oh, she put it down. With like terrible actors. And it talks about this machine. And what this machine's supposed to do is supposed to, oh, Lita's here. I'm telling them about that infomercial for that machine for the back. Oh, yeah. You want to take this spaz?
Yes. Come on, Bola.
Yeah, so it's this special machine that's supposed to take, here, take Fat Butts too for a second. That's supposed, oh, I don't know who pooped there. that's supposed to take your backbone and expand your back, your discs, and then compress them, and expand and compress them, and expand and compress them. And what that's supposed to do, it's supposed to basically pump fluid into your discs, and then supposedly they hit you with like a cold laser, and then it heals your back up and you're all better. And I'm sitting there thinking, this goofy machine you lay down on this table, you got these things that go underneath your armpits, and then they wrap this thing around your waist, and this machine is supposed to like stretch you and squish you. And the more I got to thinking about it, I'm like, this is the biggest scam ever. So as soon as I could see the name on the machine in the terrible infomercial that was probably shot 30 years ago on a Game Boy. I know Game Boys didn't even have cameras. I don't know how they shot the commercial on a Game Boy. But they shot the commercial on a Game Boy. And I'm looking at this machine, and there's some YouTube, if I can remember, I'll have Lee link this too. There's all these videos of this amazing machine and how it can change your life. And in all the videos, all the comments are turned off. And I'm like, that's a little suspicious. Like, I want to hear from real people about their experience with this machine. Now, he hasn't even discussed price with me yet. So I'm just thinking it's going to be, you know, it's probably going to be a little bit more than a chiropractor visit. Anyways, he comes in the room and he's like all hyped up. He's like, yeah, so what do you think of the machine? You know, it's amazing. What did you guys learn? How does the machine work? I'm like, I don't know. It stretches out your back. He's like, and I'm thinking I'm on like Super Troopers, where they're in the cop car and they keep messing with those kids. I'm like, and it stretches your back out. He's like, and I'm like, I don't know. He's like, oh, and it compresses it. It's got to stretch it and it's got to compress it for it to work. It's got to stretch it and it's got to compress it to work. And I'm like, yeah, something like that. And so I'm like, all right, okay, whatever. So he's like, all right, so let's figure out a game plan here. I'm like, all right, cool. He's like, all right. So he starts writing down on this white chalkboard, or this white dry erase board. He's like, all right, so this is how much it is, blah, blah, blah. And then like, if you do payments, it'll be this much a month. And if you do half now, you can save this much. And then you do the other half halfway through your sessions. And it ended up being like $5,000. And I'll be honest with you, if I knew if I paid $5,000 right now and my back wouldn't hurt me anymore, I would empty my bank account to give you the money. But I knew it was a scam, and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, oh my God, how am I gonna get out of this, right? And so the first visit's only $35, and the first visit is basically your x-ray and him talking to you about it. So right now I'm only $35 into it. So I'm not too angry. It is what it is. But then he's like, all right, so I need you to come in 3 times a week. I'm like, 3 times a week? He's like, yeah, is that a problem? I'm like, yeah. I was like, I'm a truck driver. He's like, what, they don't give you time off? I'm like, I'm an over-the-road truck driver. I'm like, I don't come home sometimes for a month. He's like, oh, no, that's not gonna work. You have to find a different job. I'm like, where can you find a job right now? Like, I understand everybody's hiring, but at the same time, I'm accustomed to a lifestyle and my bills are set to a certain amount of money that I can't just go get a warehouse job or go work at Walmart or whatever, you know? So anyways, that ended up being my way out of getting scammed out of $5,000 for this machine that's supposed to stretch your back and squish it. Like, just thinking about how that machine's supposed to work, it's like there's no way. It's gonna take your shoulders, like your shoulders gonna be in that thing. It's gonna take your shoulders and your shoulders are gonna go up when it stretches you. And then it's gonna push you back down. There's no way to stretch your spinal cord and squish it back down like the picture was showing. It's like, yeah, it's got to pump. It's got to pump your discs and get some fluid back in there. I'm like, that's not how this works. Or else you guys would have me jumping up and down on a trampoline, and that would be fixing my back. Anyways, yeah, so that, I don't know. Maybe some of you guys have had it done, and maybe it is a miracle thing. I don't know. It just said scam all over it. You know, he's like, yeah, I've got 3 or 4 of these machines, and I looked it up, and you can buy the machines used for like $150,000. And I was talking to Lead about it, and I'm like, all these doctors went out and got scammed on these $150,000 beds used. $150,000 used. If he bought them new, I have no idea how much they cost. But I'm like, they got screwed, and now they're trying to pass that screwing on to everybody else. Because surely you cannot believe that this machine actually works. So, anyways, I probably talked your guys' ear off. Holy smokes, it's been a while. I talked about everything. I talked about how I found out my buddy died yesterday. And, God, I don't know. I don't even know what else I talked about. That scam of a machine, though. Yeah. What a freaking scam. I'm so glad I was only $35 into that. Man, my lips are getting super chapped. All right, guys. We're going to get this pig started up and get moseying on down the road. We got stuff for breakfast, or we got to stop for breakfast? You made some stuff for breakfast? Yeah. I know she did a little bit of meal prepping while we were home, so. All right, you girls ready? I love staying at rest areas. You know, I keep seeing all these posts of people and truck drivers blaming these truck stops for not having enough parking or charging for parking. It's like, guys, listen. We give these states enough money that it's not the truck stop's responsibility to provide you with parking. In my opinion, the amount of tax dollars that we give, it's the state's responsibility. This rest area should be 10 times this size for trucks. But what happens is you come to these rest areas and they're massive for the cars and they're tiny for the trucks. The cars always have more parking 99% of the time when you go to a rest area. That's why the trucks are always parked in the car area too after the truck area is full.
Dad, you don't have to go over there.
Feels good to be back out on the road instead of sitting at home feeling like a piece of crap, you know. But I was willing to keep sitting, man. If the rates are bad, I'll go broke sitting at home rather than sitting in my truck. Anyways, like I said, I'll talk to you guys later. Arrived, but it looks like the gate's closed. So hopefully we get a hold of this person. They can give us a gate code or something, and we can get one of these trucks out of here. Not sure which one it is, Fat Butts. Which one could it be? Kind of rainy, but it's quit. So hopefully it stops long enough. We can get this truck loaded up and not get wet. Huh, baby girls. I'm gonna have to make her a vet appointment when we go home because I think this lump, she's got a lump on her neck. I think it's getting bigger. All right, Lita's gonna give him a call. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Okay. Okay, great. Yeah, so you just have to like hold the key a little bit. Okay, great. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Gate code?
Yeah.
All right, if you want to walk up there. Because I don't think I can hit it while I'm in the truck. I'll pull up there and pull in. Did he say which one it is?
I got the truck number.
Sweet. Where's Mama going, fat butts? Huh? Where is Mama going? Oh, did you fall down? I think we're going to use this hill in the back here to our advantage. Make it a little easier. Hopefully these things won't scrape. We'll go around this bad boy here. Boom. You stay, fat butts. You stay. Alright. So we have arrived. I want to see if I got my trailer set up nice. Because I want to use this little bit of a hill to our advantage. It's starting to rain again, dang it. I should probably pull forward a little bit more. I think if I pull forward a little bit more, we can kind of use this hill so the ramps won't be as steep. Yeah, I think I got to pull forward till about up there. Whew, it's chilly. It's a lot colder than sitting in my house. I think Lita's trying to find the truck now. I don't know that, I don't know which one we're getting. I hope we don't have to move this thing. I mean, I guess if we have to, we have to. What you think?
I'm gonna double check the number, but I'm pretty sure it's that one.
Hopefully, we don't have another dead battery situation. Hopefully with that thing running the other day, that battery's not going to be dead. I guess they plug them in to keep those refrigerators going. That's plugged in. That's plugged in. That one's plugged in. I bet it's this E450. Whew. I am freezing. I don't know where the key's at. Unless Lita got the key. I'm gonna have to put my bigger jacket on. I am freezing. Where's key at? I'm cold.
You're gonna have to put another jacket.
Yeah, I am freezing. Come on, baby. Yeah, I think the battery's good in this one. This one's showing half. All right, I'll pull her around. You want to hop in?
Yes.
We need to measure this thing. See if we have to move that other one, huh?
Yeah.
I think with this hill over here, hopefully we won't scrape. Can't believe they didn't leave us any ice cream.
They left all the doors open.
Oh my god, is this AC on? Oh my god, it is. They left all the what doors open?
2 doors.
Oh. Some of those other ones got ice cream in it. You know what this feels like?
Direct TV.
No, when we picked up those trucks, those Dodge trucks at that auction. Yeah, I know. I don't know if this hill's gonna help us out as much as I hoped. All right, I gotta get a jacket on. All right, so we took some measurements. It would technically fit on the trailer with the tires and the sitting on the deck, but there's just too much overhang with that. This back tire would come to the back of the truck, and then we'd have more than 4 feet of overhang. So we could pull that truck off and then drive this one up. I guess we need to measure how tall that back is. I'm afraid if we back that back up, it's going to be more than 13.6. And I think this back bumper's off the ground more than that other one. All right, pretty much exactly what we had to do with the Dodges. I thought I could back that one back on, but the way the hill is now, it screws me trying to back it up. So I had to pull them both forward. So hopefully we can find somewhat of a hill when we go to unload these things, so don't scrape the bumpers too bad. Yeah, so basically we just have to pull this. We had to pull this one all the way forward. Then we pull this one up so it's on the ramp. And then we back this one up enough to where we can put these ramps up now. And now what we can do is we can pull this one up far enough to where we can pull this one forward where the ass end of that thing isn't hanging over too far. Probably gonna have to move these tarps up some. It's not a big deal. We are lucky enough we're avoiding the rain. It's a little misty, but I think it'll be all right. And then we'll get these things locked back down. We'll be good to go. All right, that's pretty much what we got right there. We'll chain them down here. We're still sticking over just a little bit. Man, it's a pain in the butt. These things don't stay running very long. And in order to start them up, because they're propane, you have to hold the key in for what seems like eternity for it to start. So we're gonna get these things chained up now. I'm gonna return their little table I borrowed to set the camera up on. Put these ramps up. We're gonna leave those ramps there, but we'll throw a 2-inch strap over them so they don't like bang around. And head on out. Well, hello there, doggy. What's your name? Well, one last look over. All chained down. Looking smooth. Should be a lot more aerodynamic with that thing frontwards than it was backwards. It's hitting like a big wall of air.
Do you have both the keys?
Yes. We're gonna have to take some pictures. That's pretty much it. I been using that dump valve. I don't know how much it helps, but I can definitely see. I haven't done it with a load on it either. I did it coming in here when I made these turns. I dumped it and I watch it. You can actually see this axle slides more, you know what I mean? Where before that axle would grip and that one would pull whichever way you're going, if that makes sense. Is it helping? I don't know. Real honestly, I did it to help with parking in tight truck stops. Hopefully I can pivot on that axle and park in tighter spots. Hopefully we'll find a somewhat empty truck stop where if it doesn't work as I hoped, it won't be too bad. So if I can find like an empty spot and just pretend there's a truck on each side and try to hit a spot, see what happens. Yeah, so we had to pull that front one up to that top deck and we still ended up with that much overhang. I could have went ahead and pulled it forward some more. That's not a big deal. Mackie's having a good old time running around, ain't you, babies? All right, we good, right? Air these bags up, put these dogs in the truck. Did you have fun? Did you have fun, Mackie? I know Mackie did. Didn't you, Mac? All right, we just got these ice cream trucks loaded up. We looks like we got about 13 hours to get there. Today is Saturday, 12:45. Like I said, we don't have a load on Monday, for Monday yet. So I don't know how hard we're gonna push it. What do you think?
I don't know. Look at that truck.
Yeah, that trailer got jacked. Is my finger in the way?
Turn right at US 4 District. Construction is ordered on I-40.
be that person?
I am that person.
No, you're not. You don't ever hold the camera.
Yeah, I hold it sometimes.
It's me holding the camera.
You like talking.
Sometimes. In certain situations. Like, I'm not crazy about, like, talking on the phone or... Honestly, I don't like social media. How crazy is that? I'd rather just, like, do the camera work and then let you edit it and then never look at it again. Just kind of push it off. I don't like reading comments. Because it's weird, but like 100 good comments, or I should say one comment, one bad comment ruins 100 good comments, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I've definitely got to where I don't care anymore. It did rub me wrong when I was new, but now I'm like, I like the ones that use their real name, and then I can look them up on Facebook, find out where their mom lives, and then I become their daddy. It's a vicious cycle, you know?
Yeah.
Let's see, we tried to play some WoW last night. How'd that go? On the Starlink. I should have took a picture of your crazy setup. We're gonna have to do something different.
Yeah.
The Starlink, I think when we stopped and tested the speeds, it was like 20 down and like 6 up. But there was definitely some times where we lagged. So we'll have to figure I think different areas, I mean, there's probably gonna be some areas where we won't really be able to play at all.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Competitively. I don't know that we've ever actually been somewhere where we didn't have any service.
Yeah. Not with the Starlink, but definitely with the hotspot.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still happy with the Starlink. I think somebody asked how I was happy, if I was still happy with it. Yeah, I'm definitely still happy with it. I'm happy that my $150 a month isn't being wasted anymore.
It's not sitting in a box.
Because it sat in a box for a year, and I paid $500 for the setup, and I was paying $150 a year for it to sit in a box.
Yeah.
In hopes of going out to the land, which we haven't even looked at the footage for the land stuff yet. I mean, I'll be honest with you, there isn't that much footage of the land.
Yeah.
It was basically us sitting around, getting drunk. I got so drunk one night, the next morning I was puking my brains out.
Yeah.
You know? I do have some Sur-on footage. I've got a lot of Sur-on footage I need to go through. But, and I just have no motivation. I should get my testosterone checked, because I think that's a big thing, like motivation.
I don't know. Not wanting to edit. It's just not wanting to edit.
No, I edited some when we were home.
Yeah, you did.
You know? I try to edit the ones that I know you would have trouble with. Like, I edited the carrier bearing video.
Yeah.
Because there was so much going on, and you weren't there.
Nope.
I know it's a lot harder for you to edit something when you weren't there and you have no idea what came first.
Yeah.
You know? So I try to at least help you out there. But I don't know, I feel like it's been going pretty good. You've been knocking the videos out.
There's another one uploading. Our upload was terrible.
Uploading?
Yeah, our upload was terrible.
I think when that laptop goes to sleep, it stops uploading. The new laptop's nice too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so Lita can edit her videos, edit my videos. Doggy sleepy? What are we doing for lunch? We need to stop somewhere? Or?
No, I can make some chicken patties.
Alright.
You okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
You done talking?
I think I'm done.
Okay.